back everyone, it's Terry with Modern Shaver. Today we're going to talk a bit more about peening. Now in one of my earlier videos I had made a peening video using this hammer and not this exact same spoon, but a spoon like it. And I taught you that you can peen a straight razor using a fairly heavy spoon just like this one. Preferably you want to use a smooth and shiny ball peen hammer if you have one. If you don't, then use a spoon. This and your anvil make up your two main tools. You also need some good quality flush cutters, which these are, and some tweezers. So those are your basic tools, and an anvil of course, which I already mentioned. Now there are three methods of peening. Originally, when they made straight razors, they would peen using a nickel silver rod, just like this one. They do come in brass, but nickel silver seems to be the preferred color. In addition to the rod, what you also need are these collars. Now these collars, these three collars here, I took off other razors that were broken or had broken scales, so I saved them, and you can polish that down and reuse them. If you can't get any of those, then you can opt to try to find these little collars here. If you can't find these collars, then your next option would be to use some size 0 or 00 washers. And a lot of times the hole that they drill into the razor will be a lot bigger than the rod itself, so it's going to shift around. So one thing you can do is get these brass collars. They're just little tubes, and you can cut them to size, and hopefully your rod will fit through them. I've got 3 sizes in here, but since I've only got one hand, I can't really get them out. So that will help you center your rod. And then you would go about peening it, and you only need about that much worth of the rod. So you would snip it with your flush cutter and then go about peening it. That's for another video. The second option, which would be what looks like tacks or little nails, and they fit into these little collars here, and that's the same thing that I have here. And when you use these, you really only need to peen the one side. So you would drive this through this collar after you've threaded the tack through the pivot end of the blade. And if you're using flattened washers in between, you'd have to do that too. So it takes a little bit of finagling in order to get it to work. And then the collar would go on the outside. After you've tighten it down, you would then snip it with your flush cutter right around there, you know, whatever, depending on the thickness of your razor of course, and then once again you would peen. Now if you don't want to bother peening, then your last option would be to use micro fasteners like I have here. I've got some stainless steel ones and some brass ones, and micro fasteners are basically little nuts and bolts. You can use washers on the outside, and you can use washers on the inside as well. If you use them on the inside, then just take it to your anvil, like so, and hammer them flat. Once they're nice and flat, you can then put them in between your spine of your pivot end of your razor and your scales, and that will keep them separated from your scales. So a lot of restorers are using that method to repeen their razors. And basically this is what it would look like. So there are my flattened washers there. These two are my flattened washers, and these 2 washers go on the outside. Now this is brass, but you can do the exact same thing in stainless steel. I haven't found any nickel silver micro fasteners yet. If you guys can find any nickel silver micro fasteners, let me know. I'd be happy to get some, but for now they're all just stainless steel. And once again, you snip them to size, and then you would close it off with one of these nuts there. The advantage of this third method is that you can take it apart and clean it. You can't take these guys apart. If you do, you have to repeen them, and that takes a lot of effort. So for the last part of the video, I'm just gonna take you to a local microbrewery that I was at a couple of days ago. A customer had contacted me asking me if I could repeen his razor, and given these three options, we opted for this one. So it's about a 45-second clip just showing me peening his razor. And remember, when you're peening a razor, you want to use multiple hits, very, very light hits. So you're better off to make 100 light hits than 10 heavy hits, because if you do heavy hits, you will most likely crack the scales. So just a word of advice there. Just testing it. Oh, it's getting tighter. Can you close up on this? Look at that. All done?
All done.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, as always, comment in the box below. I'll put the link to my previous peening video in the description box below. As always, please like and share this video, and subscribe to the channel so I can bring you some more of these wonderful wet shaving hacks and ideas. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye.